This is Ziri from Cosmic Legions. She is an awesome figure from the Four Horsemen, but, like many characters, she needs a story. She moves on disguise, performing sabotage and retrieval missions. This is why I put her alternate head on the task engineer's body. It is a perfect fit for the stealth or pilot character and has the same identical proportions. To make a story on my display shelf, I need a stage, a stand, a setting, a diorama. In this case, something that can show the two sides of the same character. I decided to build a single stand where both can be present together, yet separated, two sides of the same character. A cracked wall in the middle separating the two scenes and a distinct ambient for each, a ruined cover on one side and some secret base interiors on the other. This is what inspired me to build this one. I have tried in the past to build rocky stands, but this time I decided to step up a bit. I'm completely new to building dioramas and I have a lot to learn. Hopefully, among the many mistakes, I will be able to give some life to the action figures standing on the bare IKEA shelves. So if you're interested, feel free to join me. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this in the future. Let's go! Usually I start with blue foam, the kind used for insulation, and you can find it pretty much everywhere. Expanded white foam is also a good option, but it becomes a bit messy with a cutting tool. Then I need to cut pieces according to my needs, the size of my shelves for example. I usually stack more pieces together using some hot glue, but the classic water-based glue also works good enough. Hot glues are stronger, but may leave you with a web of plastic wires dangling around. Depending on what I need, I will glue more pieces together, cut them on the spot according to my needs, until I am close enough to the desired result. Usually the glued foam panels have holes or seam lines that I want to fill. There are quite some options, from standard fillers to Mod Podge, and the smaller foam bits of course. I also use the aluminum sheet wrapped like a ball to impress irregular shapes on the surface, which otherwise will look too clean or smooth. Then I will need to wait for that to dry before I can start priming the base, which is covering the entire surface with a uniform color. There are many colors available, from black to grey, but also red and yellow. It mostly depends on what I have in mind, but I usually pick the closest to what I want to create. A grey primer is good if I have to build some rocks for example. I leave the primed coat to dry for about 12 hours. Then I can decide what to do. I apply a black wash to fill the recesses, which is quite common for rock formations, or I do some additional painting, for example brown or reddish for terrain, yellow for desert-like look, and so on. Or parts that need to be brighter or darker. After another drying period, I do the standard black washing step. Another wait, and then I dry brush the surface to highlight peaks and improve the visual appeal. There are a few changes that may happen, the kind of tools I use, the painting with brush instead of an aerographer, but roughly speaking this is what I do today. Let's see some examples. Let's look at Duban. The first time I saw him, I immediately wanted to put him on the high ground with his crossbow, cape to the wind, and his hawk landing on the arm. Therefore, I started building a base using the technique I just outlined, with also some additional fake green grass to break the monotony of just grey rocks. I took a second step with the primer because I forgot to fill the seam lines, and I had to do that after the first pass. I painted the terrain where the grass was going on with brown paint, but it is hardly noticeable since everything is covered by grass. Maybe it is too uniform, but from a distance it looks very nice. I will probably need to improve the variation for the foliage, add some branches, and also some dirt around the rocks, but I like the result. Duban and his hawk are caught in a topic moment in their adventures in the wilderness. The diorama I prepared for Ziri is the one I like the most. I cut different stripes and pieces using the hot wire tool that I then glued together according to the design. Well, more inspiration than a proper design, but you get the idea. Small foam bits are bricks that have fallen off, and I also sketched the lines on the foam for some additional sculpts that I want to do for the bricks still standing in the wall behind the painting. The good thing about the blue foam is that you can use a simple pencil to track the lines and they won't disappear. I also used the cutting knife to leave scratches in non-uniform way. This is a wall exposed to rain and sun, and it has seen better times. I also tried some toilet paper, to improve the texture on the floor covered by sand and dirt. The result looks nice, even if I'm not really sure how it will hold with time. Then I used some remaining foam parts as fillers, but I mostly used some Mod Podge for filling the many tiny gaps around. I did some multiple passes with yellow-brownish tones using the aerographer. I scratch built something resembling a communication equipment using again some garbage I had around. It looks better than expected. Then I had 2 red metal pillars from Joytoy Mecha Depot diorama, and why not using them too? They are already painted, so there is nothing else to do but gluing them to the wall. For the secret base side I went for a more classic concrete grey, and I have attached some parts that I had dangling around. A tank truck link, and some leftover from another tank kit, and or some Gundam model, I don't remember. Never throw away anything anyway, you never know what could be done with them. I also added a wooden roof made of ice cream sticks, glued together, with a gift ribbon, everything blackwashed to simulate the passage of time. Some additional demi-transparent plastic blisters to simulate sci-fi screens and power conduits, and voila, here it is, the secret base. On the desert side I added some broken wooden planks to the debris and put Ziri's sniper rifle to the wall for more scenographic effect. I will have to play a bit more with the poses, but it looks good enough. Ziri's blue face is a nice contrast for the overall look, even if it does not really help for the camouflage side. But we apply the rule of cool, so she looks amazing and will also gain a bonus in sneakiness. Praetorian of Terra is known for his stalwart defense of the Imperial Palace, often in the first line, so it makes sense to show him on top of a battle damage stair in defiance of any enemy who will dare to come forward. It is a very simple sculpt to which I added a lot of broken pieces to simulate damage. I will probably need to add some sides, but I started it like a display stand, not a fully fledged diorama. Maybe in the future I will do something bigger, but I like now how the golden armor pops up compared to the stairs stone grey. My salamanders trio, led by Agathon, is well suited for a barren rocks landscape. Agathon will stand on the high ground while the eradicators will be marching on his sides. And the bright green used for the salamanders is also amplified by the greyish rocky ground with some additional debris all around for more fun. Whoa, this video has become way longer than expected. If you got this far, I hope you enjoyed it. I have more ideas for small-scale dioramas involving some vehicles and mechas too, but the real big dream of one day is to build something larger, like a real battlefield. Well, we can all dream. But before that time, we will catch again for some other videos. Thank you for listening and have a nice rest of the day.